Good morning. Before we get into this morning's update, I would like to go over a quick overview of what has been transpiring in the last 24 hours and what the crypto market is trending towards and where we think we're going to be most likely to go after this run up that we've had. Last night, XRP hit our targeted move, hit just about 58 cents, fulfilled the technical setup in the bull flag, and actually came up and not only tapped the cup and handle resistance, but it's come up to our other layers as well. 57.02 cents is what we talked about last night in the live, but we also had a slightly higher target that we talked about. In this regard, we did not fill the technical top, but that was just our estimation here. So we did come back, and what we did, let's delete this. We came back up, and for anybody who's wondering, we back tested that rising channel bearishly. So we talked about for the last several days about how we could come back up here, back test the broken rising channel as resistance now instead of support. And we did that right at 57.6 cents. That is technically a bearish proposition here if it continues to break down. And the fact that we came up now and have satisfied the area of resistance that we had to hit is pretty interesting. The top area that we were talking about was 58.86. It did not get up there. It did not get up there. We came up to the cup and handle resistance almost perfectly, but we failed to come up to the top of this resistance area on this pattern consolidation. So we'll see if we have another continuation to break through. But that push up we had yesterday and getting rejected at 57 is a big deal. It's a big deal. It's a massive deal. This was just an area we had to break to get up to that 57. But it's a big deal not getting over that cup and handle again. So we're going to take a look at XRP more detailed here. I've got a little bit of time this morning, but I've got to end this update around 8:07, 8:10, somewhere around there, because I got to get my son to school at 8:20. So we should be able to get the full 20 minutes here. But we're going to go over the continuation and the technical analysis. We're going to go over Bitcoin to see if it has finished its push up as we've come through the liquidity zones, the upper liquidity zones of liquidation that we've talked about. Up at, the only thing is do we go up to 77 and 78K? We've already cleared out major liquidity zones at 76,500, and that was a targeted area from yesterday. The targeted short-term move is 78,609 on the short part of this megaphone pattern on the cup and handle consolidation. But obviously, as we know last night, we didn't quite get all the way up there. And we need to make sure, if we're going to have further continuation here. So as long as 73,697 holds for Bitcoin, we're still in that bullish setup. If it breaks that, well, it leaves a lot to be desired. Still could be a bull flag setup still this morning. So we got a lot to talk about. We'll look at the Bitcoin heat liquidation map. We'll take a look at the entirety of the Bitcoin, what could happen, where it could go. Today, I can tell you, though, we are in extreme greed. So this is typically where I look for a market-wide sell-off. I've seen some say, doom and gloom, Tom is back. It's not about doom and gloom because yesterday I was all bullish. I talked about it for the last day and a half, how we're going to have this bullish reversal, bullish bounce. And you can be bearish, have a bearish bias overall, but still understand when breakouts are coming. So I talked about the XRP 56 cents in sight. XRP on the verge of flipping bullish, and 2 days ago on the live, big opportunity setting up, pay attention for XRP. And it wasn't XRP. It was an opportunity because we ended up coming up to that 58 cents. So if you had front ran that, you could have had a decent move there. If you're the ones who copy trade us or copy trade with me, there's 9 people. We were up 21% yesterday. So that was nice to see. No active trades right now. Just waiting to see if we do break down or continue to have this push. But the metrics right now are not in my favor. So right now is when I sit back and I start to observe my 1 million in AMP that I had bought, 1 million AMP tokens. That is currently on the liquid side. After it made that little move up last night, it gave that top. I don't know what it's going to do, so I sold out at that 386 area because I don't like to hold when I'm going to bed, especially in volatility like this. So we'll see if the whole market has a continuation. Like gold's up today, which is good to see. Now, the surprise here today was Fortuna Silver Mines beat earnings, so they're up 5%. B2 Gold got destroyed in earnings again. So that was expected in the gold. I didn't know in the silver market, though, if they were going to beat earnings or not. So Fortuna Silver Mines is up 5.3% this morning, but let's see if that has a continuation spell. Like maybe we do have a nice little uptick in precious metals today after such a big fall, but I still expect a unfortunate continuation down, but we'll see how that goes. So let me do the intro very quick. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this update. I would greatly appreciate it. The audience generally does a spectacular job hitting the like button, and they allow me to get my content to push out across the algorithm, and it allows YouTube to recommend my content. Whether you've seen it or not, it pops up in the news feed, so you can make an informed decision whether or not you want to see my content, which would be incredible if you do decide to stick around. So make sure to hit that like button, and I'm going to do this quick intro. I know it took me forever to get to. Good morning. 7:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, November 7th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of again. So I thank everybody for tuning in. We have quite a bit of volatility going on right now. XRP sitting at 55 cents. We ask ourselves, what needs to happen next? What needs to happen next? We have this golden cross in the 2-hourly. It's probably unlikely that we don't come down there because with this wick exhaustion, it kind of created like a bear flag, and it's a short term, and it doesn't necessarily have to play out, but that looks like wick exhaustion to me. And then you start looking at it, and then it starts creating a bear flag, and then it generally, unless it holds the 20-day, this is showing us that we could technically be flipping our momentum here a little bit. That wick, the fact that it pulled down so far, that seems to be an exhaustion wick. When you get to an exhaustion wick, you have to be careful. That wick in itself pulled back over 3% from the top. That was a 3.6% wick pullback. That very well could be an exhaustion wick. Now, we have to pay attention whether or not it is, because sometimes you come back down, bounce the nearest 20-day, which is the 200-day, in any kind of real setup. And we have a golden cross here. If we go into the 4-hourly, we could come back down here as well and retest 53 cents and try to retest the golden cross in a bullish fashion. That 4-hourly does not look good to me. That looks like a gravestone doji. That is a very bearish candle in a setup, and this is even more bearish the way it started. We're going to have to reverse this and retake 55.75 to invalidate this bearish setup here in the last couple candles. So, because it looks like we want to come down and retest support. It doesn't mean we're going to break down all the way, because one could argue that's a big W reversal. And then if you come down here and you hold the support at 53.4, we could continue on. One could also say we're working on a bear flag, which we have a giant bear flag we haven't been able to invalidate yet. We've come up, but we have not invalidated it yet. And we'll see what kind of continuation we have left today. I don't want to say that it's just going to all fall through, but we do have to be very cautious with our optimism today. The cup and handle resistance was a major tell. Getting rejected there again after such a consolidation back down. This could just be an initial hit, rejection, back down to consolidation around 53.5 cents if it wants to come retest that area, which it seems like it wants to with the 4-hour setup. Seems awfully bearish to me this morning. Quite the opposite of what I was feeling yesterday. I was just anticipating that move to 57.58 yesterday, and now I'm anticipating the move down to 53 and some change. Now, that's not a guaranteed or foregone conclusion, but it certainly seems to be setting up in that regard right now. Bitcoin doesn't seem to be doing us any favors in that regard, but pay attention to the 4-hourly. That could be a technical reversal candle, and it could try to shoot us up a little bit higher. We'll see, though, because Bitcoin, it had to clear up some of its oversold strength. And now it could, you don't know, we could get hot here because the sell pressure was very weak for Bitcoin. If you want to take a positive out of this for a continuation possibility, look how weak the sell volume was. Volume predicts price on the way up 767, 702 Bitcoin. You had 1,000 Bitcoin, 550, yada, yada, yada. Now we have the reversal. Now on the breakdown, 99, 82, 138, 55, 34. There hasn't been a lot on the push down. So if that's something to consider, it sure is. As long as we hold 73,697, we should be okay. But if you see it break through that, we are going to go down to lower liquidity zones. That's my problem here. My problem here before I leave is that Bitcoin took the up route, grabbed that upper liquidity on the heat liquidation map, but it did not go down to grab the heavy set liquidation. And I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem. We've created some higher leverage here as well because now we've got more shorts in this position. But we can see massive amounts stacking up. If you look at just the short term, yesterday I said I thought we'd go to 77, 78K because I thought we would grab this liquidation. Well, you know, we technically did come up here, though. That's the thing. We came up here and grabbed some of this liquidation. We were short. We came to 76,500, but we never came up the rest to 77K. So we did grab a lot of liquidation, though, yesterday. A lot. At the 76K level, we just never came all the way up to 77. It's the only thing we didn't do yesterday. We did not come up and grab that last bit. But, I mean, we came all the way up there. So you can see we wiped out that map. So now it still is my cause for concern right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's what I said last week. It's what I'll continue to say until this 1.23 billion at 64,650 is taken care of. We've gone up to those upper regions, but at some point I wish, everybody knows that my feelings, I wish it would have went down to 63,000 or 64,650 before it took that route down. But unfortunately it did not. So it leaves that liquidation zone very glaring indeed. Very glaring indeed. Like you've got so much liquidation down there. So much. 64,600, 1.16. 64,500, 1.15 billion. 64.55, 64.45. There's so much liquidation there. So a lot of liquidity there for Bitcoin. And that liquidity could be the catalyst to send us even higher into all-time highs, but we'll see because that's a long ways down now for Bitcoin and see if it can actually come down to that threshold. And then before I leave, I want to talk about this and then I got to release this. Open interest right now. XRP open interest is up 6.05% in the last 24 hours. Mainly stems from that run overnight up to 58 cents, but we've come down to 55 now. Let's see. Let's go to the funding rates. Probably positive still. Positive funding rates across the board. Liquidations now are pretty, it's starting to reverse back in the favor. We're overwhelmingly shorts yesterday, but you can see it's starting to merge a little bit towards longs as well. So longs in the last 24 hours, we had 2.8 million total liquidations in the last 24 hours. 914,000 came from longs. 1.9 million came from shorts. As you can see, the long-short ratio right now starting to tighten up a little bit. 2.39 to 1 in the 5, 30, and 1 hour, 70.51% to 29.4% going short. The 4 hourly is 2.4 to 1, 70.59% going long, 29.41% going short. In the daily, we have a 2.39 to 1 long to short ratio, 70.48% going long, 29.52% going short. So definitely interesting dynamic there. Still continuing to build up. So just consider where the longs and shorts are set up. We already know that the Bitcoin or crypto, the fear and greed index is an extreme greed. This is extreme danger time. This is typically when you'll see a market-wide sell-off and you'll end up clearing out. You want to be buying extreme fear. Extreme greed is when you start to think to yourself, all right, I think it's time to take some profits. Maybe time to sit back and let the market shake up a bit or shake out until it does its designated thing. And you get what I'm saying here. So that's definitely something to be watching for not just cryptocurrency, but for XRP, for Bitcoin. The fact that we're in extreme greed, it seems to speak to me. We should have a correction phase pretty much in our face here. So we'll see. I'm not seeing much out of most of crypto. Most of it's reversing back down now. VELO had a quick hot start of a couple percent yesterday, but it reversed back down about 7% in totality now from where it was at a little bit earlier overnight. Same thing with Gala, was up 3.5% today, and now it's back to even. AMP was up a couple percent to start. Now it's back to even. Telecoin got up 7-8% back to 3.4. GOAT's back to even for today's candle. So you're seeing a lot of volatility. Gold's up 16 bucks. But remember, yesterday we had that unbelievable drop down. So we have to come back and retest these areas. Do I feel confident? I personally feel like what gold's setting us up with, and it would be crazy if it does it, but it seems to be setting up this rising channel broke down that looks like the start of a bear flag. And I wouldn't be surprised to see gold drop down a couple $100 in the next days or weeks to come as we reshuffle precious metals. But after such an exorbitant drop yesterday, I'm not surprised to see some kind of reaction. Silver looks like the spot to be, though. Silver looks like they might come in better than earnings. Gold mining stocks are getting slaughtered in earnings. And it didn't change with B2 Gold. B2 Gold did not surprise. I was expecting them to have a bad earnings. And they're down. They had a 62.5% miss in earnings. And they had a $1 million miss, or 0.23% in revenue. So that's not what you want to see. And I could totally see a bigger correction coming here. We started at 317. And after hours right now we're at 306, down 12 cents. If gold doesn't cooperate today and it ends up reversing at some point, that's going to be not good. For Fortuna Silver Mines, however, they beat earnings. So in pre-market, they beat earnings by 37 points. So earnings, they had a 37.42% positive. They beat earnings, and then they surprised in revenue. They had an additional 3.55% in revenue than they expected. So this is a good earnings. And right now in pre-market, you're up 5%. So will this end up folding this and force it up? Or in pre-market, we're up because you have overzealous buying overnight or in the after hours. And now we need to see which way precious metal goes. I'm still, like for me, B2 Gold, I'm waiting for those lower levels. I expected this. Now with Fortuna Silver Mines, I did sell at $5.34. So they're coming up 5.3%. I would like to see how it shakes out right now. And we'll see if we get to the opening at the same area. But I still have my feelings and doubts right now about crypto, or about precious metals. And even on silver, we see this big bear flag coming to the 20-day resistance. This could be a setup for metals traders to get obliterated here. We'll see, though. We'll see. So that's what I got this morning. Make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this update. If you're looking to trade cryptocurrency, make sure you look in the video description below and or pinned comments or on my homepage. You can see if you click on the BITUNIX piece, BITUNIX, lowest spot and leverage trading fees. That is where I would encourage my entire audience to trade. The leverage fees are the lowest I've ever come across. If you're interested in copy trading, I do that as well. We have 9 followers. Yesterday, we made 21.5% roughly. And it was a good day. It was a good day. If you want to join me, you can join via that BITUNIX link. Put your money in your account and then go into copy trading and follow XRP Future Millionaire. And it's a phenomenal exchange. We've had 0 issues. I do things a lot differently on this copy trading. So if you want to join, be prepared to lose not a lot of money. I only trade at $170 clips. So, and it's only 1% of my total portfolio. I have $4,300 rough, or $4,200 in my BITUNIX account. Only $170 of it is in leverage. So if you want to know my breakdown and ratio, how much I leverage trade compared to spot trading, I have $170. Well, I think it's built up to like 230 something, but I have in total $230 in my leverage account. I think it's, or 223 in the account. And I have over $4,200 total in my crypto account. So the fact I'm only willing to put up $200 total into there, well, some of it's been from profits, should tell you all you need to know about my feelings of leverage trading. I put 1% of my portfolio, if that. Actually, I think it's about 2% right now, or 3%, maybe 4%. It might be 4%, I don't know. But it's a very small amount, so you can join me there through BITUNIX. On HOTCOIN, they have VELO and such, but the leverage trading is a little more expensive. So if you're going to leverage trade, I encourage you and I implore you, don't go to HOTCOIN. Do it on BITUNIX where you're going to get the lowest spot in leverage trading fee. Spot's fine on HOTCOIN, but leverage, they take advantage a little bit. So I encourage you to use BITUNIX. And then if you want to show me personal support, you can always send a YouTube super chat. I encourage everybody to join Tom's Army to pay it forward. Get the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens, all the way to 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. But if you don't want to do it through YouTube, you can do Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal right there. Just click on these, and it'll bring you exactly what you're clicking on, and then you'll be able to do what you need to do. So thank you all so much for the support. Make sure to hit the like button on the way out, and consider watching this twice so you know what's going on in crypto for the next 24 hours.